You gotta keep on breathing if you wanna make sense of it all. We will not fall.
Okay, so let us start lying down on your backs and whatever position is comfortable to lie down. I know you've spent, most of the night lying down, but you might like to lie with butterfly or with the knees bent or with the legs out straight or in constructive rest, which is where the knees just gently rock together. So keep the eyes open for now and just take a single point of gaze up to something above you, maybe a little dot on the ceiling. And just focus on this one place. And try to zone in to that one particular focus of your gaze. Try to blur out the peripheral vision. And try not to blink too often, but without allowing the eyes to blur or to water. And slow down the blinks. So they close the eyes with a blink and then slowly open. And you'll notice that as you slow down your focus to a single point and you slow down the blinking of the eyes, naturally the breath starts to settle. So does the heart rate. So breathing in and out through the nostrils. The inhale travels all the way around the body to the head, to the hands, to the feet. Supplying prana, oxygen to every cell. And the exhale breath is a sense of letting go and release and unclenching. And that's going to be important through the practice today. It's, with flexibility work, your breath guides you as to how far you can really take things. Then start to feel your back body, back of the skull, shoulders, upper, middle, lower back, waist, pelvis, maybe the legs, knees, ankles, heels, soles of the feet, whatever's connecting. Start to really feel the earth underneath you. And it's supportive. So any of this work that we're going to do today, in fact, if you were to do it on a bed, you might find it a little bit easier, a little bit more comfortable because you have the softness of the mattress giving you deeper release. And you can probably take your stretching a little bit further, but here we're on a flat surface. And then as you connect into your breath and your back body, notice how you feel this morning. We want to look at flexibility of the body, but also flexibility of ourselves, of the person, of our lives. Being flexible with ourselves, but also with others and in our daily life. So just for now, just invite any intention for your practice, whatever comes to mind. Take a deeper breath in, deeper breath out. Start to bring movement back into the hands, back into the feet. And then coming out of whatever posture you took there, if you took butterfly, make sure that you lift the knees together and then gently draw the knees in towards the chest, but make sure there's a big space between the thighs. So you're starting to pull the thighs downwards to the outer waist, outer rib cage. And you can start to rock from side to side here, and you're just holding on to the knees. And each breath out, lengthen the tailbone, feel the back body connecting even more, and pull those knees up towards the armpits almost. And then start to massage. So you start to circle the knees around a few times one way and circle the other. And then bring those knees together and curl up into a tight, tight ball. So lifting the head, drawing the forehead in towards the knees. And you're going to start to curl the tailbone away from the mat and the shoulders. So you might feel quite compressed here. Thighs are against the belly and the chest. Might be difficult to breathe. So really find the breath. Breathe deep in through the spine and then exhale. Relax it out. Place the soles of the feet down. Let's come into pelvic tilts. Start to lift the pubic bone up towards the sky. Tailbone pulls away from the mat. Exhale. Round the spine underneath you as you pull the tailbone back underneath. So you're pressing into the palms, pressing into the shoulder blades and the soles of the feet. Time this with your breath. Inhale, pubic bone lifts, you round up. And exhale, rounding down, pulling the tailbone back. So you're imagining that this would be a cat and a cow, but you can actually feel the spine moving each and every vertebra onto the mat underneath you. Start to increase the height of your lift. So lifting pubic bone up towards the sky, pressing up, rounding the shoulders underneath you, and then rolling down super, super slowly. Do that 2 or 3 times, lifting up into full bridge, a moment there, and then exhale, rolling down. And then lifting up last time. Come into the bridge and just stay. Find the breath. Make sure the neck is nice and long. You're not dipping the chin too much or tucking or lifting the chin. Relax into the face. Notice what muscles of the legs have to engage here to support you. And slowly roll it down. Draw the right knee in towards the chest. Keep the left leg bent. If you've got that strap handy, this is where that's going to start to come in handy. Keep the thigh all the way in towards the chest. We're going to do our reclining leg stretch. So if you have got that strap, you might want to place it over the sole of the foot here. We're going to try to keep the thigh as close to the body as possible when we extend from the back of the leg only. So the extension happens on your exhale. So start to extend from the back of the leg. Exhaling, extending. Inhaling, bending the knee, relaxing the heel back down to the buttock. So do 3 or 4 of those extensions on the exhale. You don't have to go to your full range of motion, your full stretch. You're starting to work into the back of the knee, and you're starting to feel the hamstrings. Probably might feel it in the lower back as well. So 3 or 4 times, and each time relax that heel back down to the buttock. The foot, the ankle are both relaxed. And then the last time, you take it up to the sky, soften, drop the thigh a little bit more, heavy, heavy thigh, relax, and work from the stretch there. So if you feel tremors, you may have gone a little bit too far, in which case just soften at the back of the knee once more, dropping the thigh back down towards the chest. And close the eyes here and visualize. Visualization techniques really help. And visualize the toes going back over the head. So use the breath. Be guided by the inhales and the exhales. If your breath is shorter, you may have gone a little bit too far. From here, if you can, just take hold of either the sole of the foot, the ankle, or the calf, or the thigh, and then pull the thigh towards the outer edge of your mat. It's a half happy baby. You can take the strap away there if you like. And just move into the ankle there, so circling around into the ankle. So left leg is staying bent for the moment, and you're pulling down the thigh towards the outer edge of your mat. Same thing happens here, extension from the back of the knee. You might like to use a strap once more. So 3 or 4 times. Bring the heel back in towards the buttock as you bend into the knee. Exhaling as you stretch. And again, this visualization here is that the toes are going out to the side of your mat, in line with your shoulders or in line with your ear. Thigh stays nice and parallel down towards the mat. And once you've done 3 or 4, extend that leg to where it feels comfortable. You can stay and hold. The leg is heavy. It wants to drop down. Try to keep anchored through the left hip. Relax the foot, relax the ankle. Doesn't have to be pointed or flexed. Try and soften through the back of the leg. Remind yourself of your breath. Be guided by the inhales and exhales. If they're shorter, try and extend those. And then gently bend at the back of the knee and bring the knee back and extend the right leg. Now extend the left and just notice if you actually feel that your right heel, mine feels about 2 inches, a little bit longer than the left. So let us repeat. Draw the knees in. Keep them nice and wide. Big space between the belly and the thighs. Start to just rock and roll from side to sides and start to circle into the hips a little bit. Placing right foot down this time, drawing in the knee into the chest, keeping the thigh as close to the chest as you can through this practice. And exhaling on the effort, sending the foot up towards the sky. Inhaling, bending the knee. 3 or 4 times, just with that dynamic stretching. Trying to keep the tailbone, the spine long, fully connected towards the earth. Last time, extend the leg, deep, long exhale, relax the foot, the ankle, soften through the back of the calf, back of the knee, back of the thigh, and begin that visualization once more where the toes are touching behind your head. Notice if the tremors come in. Soften through the back of the knee to release those. Deepen the breath. And that thigh becomes heavier towards the belly and the chest, and the toes get further over the head. And bend at the back of the knee, opening the hip and coming into half happy baby. So again, heel drops down towards the buttocks on your inhale. Exhale. Start to extend from the back of the knee. Try to keep the thigh parallel with the mat. Good. 3 or 4 times. And the last time, deep exhale to the extension. Imagining those toes going all the way out to the side of your mat, in line with the shoulder or the ear. Relax the foot, the ankle, the back of the calf, back of the thigh. Try to keep anchored through the right hip, pulling that right hip down. You might notice that the right and the left legs are different to one another. Notice how the stretch and the flexibility feels for you in the morning. You might get deeper stretches in the evening when the body is a lot warmer and it's gone through the day. Nice. And release. Let that foot go. Release the strap. Bring the knee back into the center and extend the leg all the way along the mat. Rest the heel down. And then now extend the right to meet it. I'm really hoping that both heels feel level and in line with one another. Draw both knees in. Take them nice and wide once more. This is our happy baby. So we take the feet up towards the sky. This is where we do have a light flexion into the ankles. So the soles of the feet go up towards the sky. Really try to get the thighs nice and wide of the rib cage. There's a 90-degree bend at the back of the knee. Now start to rock from side to side as you drop one thigh down to the mat, each side, left and right. So you're giving yourself that massage and then bring yourself back into the center, lengthening the spine, lengthening the tailbone down and holding in as you pull the feet, pull the thighs downwards. Again, visualization that the thighs are parallel with your rib cage. And nice and slowly release and place the soles of the feet wide of the mat. Drop the knees in towards one another. Just rest into the inner thighs there, hip flexors. And heel toe the feet into parallel. Make sure the feet touch here and gently open with control your knees. So you're going to take them into butterfly, exhaling, and then using the hands, bring them back into center. Exhale, open the knees out to the side. If it's too much, you don't have to go too far. And use the hands to bring them back in. Exhale, let the weight of the legs take the knees out. Inhale, lift them back in. Last time, we open and stay. Place the soles of the feet together. Take your butterfly. Relaxing into the hip flexors, inner groin, outer hip, and the buttocks. And take the hands to the thighs, lift the legs together, place them wide, and knees come together in that constructive rest once more. Soften through the toes, the feet, calves, the back of the knees, the thighs. Heel toe, feet into parallel, roll over to one side and bring yourself up to tabletop. So finding your tabletop position, let's come to cat and cow. So really getting back into the spinal movement, flexibility through the spine, which is where we started with those pelvic tilts. So breathing in for cow, nice and slow and controlled. Exhaling, long, slow, deep breath into cat. Close the eyes. Visualize your spine moving each and every vertebra one after the other. And then once you take your last cat there, widen the knees to the outer edges of your mat, bring the toes together, and start to rock back. Keep the hands where they are. Rock back hips to heels, and then come forward. So again, exhaling on the effort. Exhale, push back towards the heels. Inhale, come forward. Maybe the hands go forward a little bit. Get a deeper stretch. Exhale back. Inhale forward. Buttocks press back towards the heels. You start to release and stretch into the spine. And then last time. Breathe out, relax down into wide leg child's pose. Stay and hold. If the head isn't quite meeting the mat, place a block or a cushion or something under there and try to relax the hips back as much as you can. Reach the fingers forward. Softening into the breath here. If the breath is shorter than usual, try to find a comfortable position and lengthen the breath. Start to come out as you lift the head, walking the hands back towards the body as you just roll up towards kneeling and bring the knees together. Let's get into the quadriceps here. So sitting nice and tall, hands come back behind you, fingertips face forward. If they don't quite meet the mat, use blocks here. So looking forward, keeping the chest nice and open, roll the shoulders open and push the hips up. Again, 3 or 4 times lifting and lowering. So all of the practice will be dynamic stretching and then holds. And then once you've done 3 or 4 of these, lifting hips, coming up to stay and hold. Try not to let the chest cave, but roll the shoulders back and around, pushing into the wrists and lifting the pelvis up towards the sky, pushing pubic bone forward. Nice and slowly coming down. That also worked into the wrists, so let's bring those back softly. Circle. Give yourself a little shake into the hands. And let's swing the legs around in front of us. So let's start by bending up the knees here. I'll take my socks off now. So just bending up the knees first of all. We're going to lift up the arms and stretch over. Again, visualization is that the fingers come towards the front of your mat and then roll up the spine. Arms sweep up to inhale and exhale, fold over the thighs, reach the fingertips way past the feet. 3 or 4 times. Breathing in, lifting up, stretching, folding from the hips over the thighs. Relax the head each and every time you come down. The last time, we're going to go and we're going to stay. Exhale. Soften the body over the thighs. Let the head relax between the knees. Try to get the chest, the belly onto the thighs. If that isn't quite working, bend the knees a little bit more. And then roll up through the spine. Now extend the legs if you are able to. You can always keep a soft bend there. Let's get into the ankles a bit. So flexing the feet, stretching, engaging and contracting it, all of those leg muscles, and pointing. Flexing, pointing. Circling. Drawing big circles, rotating through the ankle joints. Sitting nice and tall, grounding through the buttocks. Spine is long, abdomen is pulling back. Shoulders are relaxed, face is relaxed. Lift up the arms, relax the feet, relax the legs. Reach up and over. Fold from the hips, same thing, 4 times. Sweeping the arms back. Inhaling, flow with the breath. Exhale, fold over the legs. Only go as far as is comfortable for you. Excuse me. And the last time, we reach up, we prepare to hold, we visualize our hands are going way past the feet, and even if they're landing on the thighs or the shins, give yourself a little wiggle room with the buttocks. Lengthen the spine up a little bit as you breathe in. Exhale, fold, let the head relax. Relax into the shoulders. Try not to find tension here. And again, find and be guided by your own breath. If the breath is short, come up a little bit. Make sure the breath is long. Inhales and exhales. Notice where you feel this stretch, finding flexibility. And start to roll up through the spine, coming back up into seated. And let's take our right leg back behind us. So if this is uncomfortable for you, sit on a block or a bolster here, but if you can, lift the calf, roll it out of the way. It can be quite deep into the knee. So sitting here, hands come back behind you once more. Lifting hips and pressing left foot down 3 or 4 times. Lowering buttocks. Good. Lifting up. And lowering. Lifting up. And lowering. Last time, come up and stay. Stretch the toes of the left foot down as much as you can towards the mat. Lift and push the pubic bone up towards the sky as you open across the chest. Maybe the gaze is looking in front of you or up towards the sky. Nice and slowly lower down. Release the hands, give those wrists a little workout. Circle through, bring the leg back. Change sides. Left leg bends. Hands come back behind you. 3 or 4 lifts. Oh, this one feels much easier this side. If it's too deep into the wrist, you can redirect the fingertips out to the outer edges of your top corners of your mat. And the last one comes up and stays. Point those left toes down, lift the hips, open chest. Looking forward or up towards the sky, strong through the neck and shoulders. Some strength work needed. Nice and slowly. Roll down. And let's take this one nice and slowly. We're going to bring the hands forward and bring the legs back behind us. So coming all the way down onto our belly and into prone position. Let's come off the wrist for a bit, bring the big toes together and sway out through the hips. So just relax everything here in this full prone position. Let's get into the spine a little bit more. Widen the feet, hands come to the top corners of your mat. And they can be on the fingertips or they can be on the palms, but start to ripple up through the spine into seal. Elbows may stay bent. They might go to straighteners, but try not to overextend into the back of the elbow. Rippling up. Keeping shoulders away from ears, rippling down. Ripple up. And ripple down. Last time, ripple up to stay. Push the heels of the hands away from you. Maybe you straighten into the arm. Rotate the eye of the elbow. So it's either facing one another or it's facing downwards, so not up towards the sky. And nice and slowly, roll down. Bring the head to the hands and sway out. And pushing back into tabletop just for a round of cat and cow. Using the blocks, let's get a little bit more movement here. So we're going to do lizards, monkeys, pyramids, and our revolved triangles. So now I'm starting to get warmer. I'm going to take a drink too. I got a tea frog. Okay, let's get into those legs. Right leg comes forward. Let's drop forward and back into pyramid. So keeping that right foot facing forward, tucking the back toe. You can put the blocks on any of the levels. We're going to pull back into pyramid and drop down into lizard. So it's always a nice chest is open in the lizard and the chest drops down into that high pyramid. You do not have to straighten the front leg. 3 or 4 times, you can always just keep a nice soft bend. And yes, the last time we come up and we stay. You might drop the elbows down onto the blocks if you like there. Try to drop the left hip as much as you can, but keep the right hip slightly lifted. Bend into that front knee if you should you need to. That's it, doing great, nice and slowly. We bring the hands up, we lengthen the spine, we shorten our pyramid. So we put the back foot down this time. We bring the right foot in towards the center of our mat. From here, we lengthen through the spine and sweep the arms back around us into a reverse prayer of choice. So maybe that reverse prayer is the hands just loosely at the sacrum. Maybe it's the knuckles, maybe you take hold of the elbows or the forearms. Or if you're coming into reverse prayer, then your hands come here and start to face the chest forward. So relaxing down over the right leg. Choice of reverse prayer. Heel to heel, maybe in line, maybe a little bit wider than one another. Try to drop the left hip and pull it forward. Lift the right hip, pull it back. Nice and slowly release the hands. Right hand stays where, left hand stays where it is, either on the block or down onto the mat. Revolved triangle, so right arm comes around to the sacrum and you start to turn the chest towards your right thigh. Open up the chest here. Ground through the back foot, back heel. Lovely. And release the top arm if you want to. Try to keep the wrist in line with the shoulders. Lovely. Open, open, open. Chest a little bit more to the side of your mat. Can be guided by the breath. If the breath becomes shorter, try and lengthen that and release down. Bend the front knee, turn on the back toe and drop the back knee. This is where we slide our foot forward into our half monkey. So digging the heel in, the toes come up towards the sky, and then exhale, start to release over the leg. Again, those 4 releases. So inhale and exhale. Inhale, lengthen. You're always folding from the hips here, and exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen, lift up the chest, exhale, fold the chest, stay and hold. Half monkey, runner splits, half splits, numerous names, Ardha Hanumanasana. And lifting up, bringing the hand on the inside, sweeping the leg all the way back. Give it a little bit of a release. Circle, hip and knee. And left leg. So, wide, high pyramids, left foot on the outer edge, facing forward, tucking the back toe, lifting back knee, exhaling into that pyramid, lowering knee, lifting chest. Exhale, pull back. Inhale, drop down. Exhale, pull back 3 or 4 times. Everybody's breath is different. So that's why I say 3 or 4 times. You might not fit in 4. And then coming into that full hold. So soften into that left knee should it become tight or tense in the back of that left leg. Drop the head and the neck. Push the right heel back towards the back of the mat. You're still on your tiptoes here, so it's still a high pyramid. We haven't come into the variation yet. And then bend both knees to shorten the distance and bring that left foot into the center. So coming into your pyramid position or a forward-facing triangle again. Number of names. So open up the chest. Exhale, fold over the leg. Keep grounded through the back foot, back heel. Inhale to lengthen spine. Exhale, release. Remember to release the head and the neck towards the shin or the knee. Pulling right hip forward, left hip back, making sure sacrum's nice and stable, staying and holding. And then lifting up to find your version of your reverse prayer, wherever the hands may rest on the back. And this is a deep, deep stretch because you've taken the hands away from the mat. So if you don't want to do the reverse prayer, please don't. Put the hands back down. Soften into that front knee should you need to. It's quite heavy on the front leg. Weight is equal through both feet. And release the hands. Let us come into revolved triangles. So start to place the right hand down on the inside of left foot. Left hand comes back around to the sacrum to give yourself a little press to give the twist, the rotation through the spine, opening up the chest to the side of your left side of the mat, and opening the top arm up towards the sky. Palm faces the same way you do. Keep grounded through the back foot, back heel pulls down. Be guided by the breath. And slowly release the hands. Bend into the front knee, bend into the back knee, drop the knee, and find your half splits. So half splits, we dig the front heel in, making sure that we've got the knee and the hip level. Folding from the hips rather than the waist. Folding forward, pressing chest towards the shin. Inhale, lengthen the spine from there. Stay nice and low. Exhale, maybe get a bit more release. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, release. Last time, inhale, lengthen. And exhale, fold and stay. Noticing differences from the right to the left sides. And bend into the knee, hands come on the inside, sweep the leg back. Give it a little bit of a workout there. And then tucking toes. Preparing for your downward facing dog. Lifting hips up, trying to keep the knees nice and bent here. Knees are not rocking together. The inner thighs are engaged. You're pressing chest back towards the thighs. Fingers are spread. Then pedal out. Left and right heel releases. Notice now how the downward dog feels after all that flexibility work into the spine and the hamstrings. Release both heels together. Deep, slow, long breaths. And looking forward, starting to walk the feet towards the hands, coming towards the front of your mat. When you get there, take the feet a little bit wider, hip width or wider. Toes are facing forward. Make sure the knees are bent and drop the belly between the thighs as much as you can. Then you can use the blocks here. This is coming into Uttanasana and half lifts. So relax the head in your full bend. Inhale, straighten the legs, lift the chest, crown of the head reaches forward, half lift. Try to keep the weight into the toes rather than into the heels, and the hips start to pull back. Exhale, bend the knees, drop the belly, the chest down. Inhale, start to straighten the legs, lengthening the spine. Doesn't matter how high or low you are here, but I want you to think about an L shape position. Draw the abdomen up towards the lower back. There's no arching there. Release into the exhale. So find this nice movement from half lift, Ardha Uttanasana, to your release. Coming up and staying in your half lift. And make sure that the feet are nice and equal weight. Toes are spread. Crown of the head reaches forward, lifting up the abdomen. Bend the knees if you need to, but the knees don't rock together. Now from here, we're going to take the fold. So exhale, release down. Keep the legs straight as is comfortable. Let the body hang. Relax the toes, there's no gripping there. Keep the weight into the front of the feet. Lift the heels a little bit. Lighten up the heels. See where the weight goes. And whilst you're there, heel toe the feet in a little bit closer, maybe to full parallel, big toes touch. And then hands come behind you, behind the calves to pull the body a little closer. Full Uttanasana, which would be the same as when we were lying seated. Yeah, seated in our seated forward fold. Nice and slowly. Woo! Come out. Take your time. Use the hands on the shins and the thighs to roll up to standing. The legs, a little shake. We've got a couple of standing balances. Woo! So if you need to here, have your strap handy or a belt or an item of clothing, because we're going into our 2 standing balances, which we did reclined. So that was our hand to big toe out in front of us. And then we did the one out to the side. So if you are using the strap, I'm just going to hold on to something for a moment to demonstrate. So if you are using the strap, try and draw the knee in towards the thigh. This is exactly what we did on our backs. And we extended from the knee. So we want to try to keep the thigh as close to us as possible. Try not to do this, isn't going to really benefit you. Also, try not to lean back too much, putting too much weight into the lower back, but keep the chest over the front, so shoulders are over the hips. So you want to be here and pushing forward, okay? And maybe you don't need the strap and you can take hold of either the knee, the thigh, the calf, and extend from there. But remember, keep the weight over the hips, not back. Oh, you're already there. Let's go. Holding and staying. And visualization here is that right leg is super light. It's not heavy at all to lift up. We are going to open it out to the side straight away. So we change the position of the pelvis as we open the hips out towards the side. And the leg still extends. It can certainly be bent, but pull the knee in towards the rib cage. Nice. And again, push the chest forward. We're not dropping into the lower back. Good. Make sure that pelvis is nice and controlled. Good. See if you can let go of the leg, and then it drops down. Well done. Okay, left side. Stabilize through that right leg. We did a lot of balances in January, so try not to forget all of the balance work that we did in tree, eagle, dancer. Okay, so coming into the posture as you need to, using a strap or the hand, keeping the weight into the toes and extending leg forward. Leg can be bent, but try to keep the thigh in towards the body as much as you can here. Pull it up. Nice. Be guided by your breath. Really enjoy this expansive posture as you start to open it out to the side. Visualize the left leg is light as a feather. Not after having to hold it up there, and just test if you can let go. Oh, and the leg just, well done. It just drops. Great work. Okay. So let us stand at the front of our mat. I'm going to have to stand in the middle. So the arms lift up towards the sky, and we're going to fold into an L-shaped forward bend from there. So the hips push back, you fold from the hips, the arms reach forward. Again, this was similar to a half lift. You can always widen the feet, and you can always bend the knees. Keep the spine nice and straight. Fingertips are reaching forward. And then from there, reach the fingers. Fold a little deeper. Lift up the arms, lift up the chest. And exhale. Lift up arms, lift up chest, L-shaped. Good. And exhale. Once more, we're going to stay and hold. And remember, you can bend the knees. Try to keep the strength in the spine. Keep the feet light into the heels. Weight is in the front of the foot. Nice. And, hands come down. Bend. Drop down. That's hard work, isn't it? Take a child's pose. Relax back down. Wide legs. Exhale. Bring the hands underneath the head. Soften just a little bit there through the spine. So when we talk about flexibility, we talk about flexibility through the spine, the hips, the glutes, hamstrings, hip flexors, inner thighs. We haven't worked with the shoulders yet. That's next week. And let us bring those legs around in front of us for seated pigeon. So this is important to keep the spine nice and long here. Feet are out in front of us, and we're going to cross over the right foot over the left thigh. So resting the shin on top of that left thigh. There is a light flexion into that left foot. Keep the chest nice and lifted. The closer that chest and shin come towards with one another, the deeper that is. And you can, of course, take the hands behind you. Yes. So that way you can start to edge yourself closer and closer. But if you feel that you've got the strength there, you might like just simply to take hold of the leg and then pull that in. So it's away from the left knee. Press chest towards shin, shin towards chest. If you want to go a little bit deeper there, you can place the sole of the foot into the crook of the elbow, rocking the baby here. Nice. Try to soften through that outer hip, outer glute. Keeping chest lifted, spine long. And release. Good. So left side. This one will not be as flexible as the right. So again, sitting nice and tall. The closer the chest comes towards the shin, the deeper that stretch is going to feel into the outer hip and the piriformis. And again, you can use the hands behind you to keep you lifted. But if you want to intensify that stretch, taking the foot away from the leg and pulling it towards you. You might just like to give it a little rock there, rocking the baby before pulling it in and holding. And again, that option, I don't know if I'll be able to do that on this side. Foot goes into the crease of the elbow. Breathe. That's all the all-important breath. And the smile that goes with it. And nice and slowly release. Good work. Let's come into a compass position. So I'm going to show you from the front. So your right leg is bent in front of you. The left leg comes up and you try to take, and again, this is where the strap comes in handy. So putting the strap over that foot, holding onto the strap, you're going to start to extend this left leg. Okay, your right arm comes on the inside. So this is where you're going to start from. So it's either using the strap or using the hand. And we're going to extend the leg as much as is comfortable. You're going to use the leverage of your arm. So again, just find 3 or 4 of those dynamic stretches. Nice, good. That's it. Until you come to a point where you feel it is comfortable to stay. Coming out of it, bending into the knee and releasing. Okay, other side. So again, choosing the option of the hand, of the foot. This hand comes on the inside to stabilize you, and that arm pushes back into the crease of the knee. And then again, opening up, stretching. Inhaling, releasing. 3 of those. Make sure the exhale is on the effort and the stretch. Keeping spine nice and long and lifted. And then coming into the compass posture. Good, great, great, great. Smile, enjoy, breathe. Come out. Woof. And just give yourself a little hug. Butterfly pose, soles of the feet come together. This is again very similar to what we did with our seated forward fold. Sitting nice and tall, feel grounded through the sit bones. Make sure that you've freed up the flesh. And we fold forward from the hips with a flat back, round through the spine to roll up. Press the chest forward towards the heels. Drop the chin to chest. Roll it back up. Ripple it forward, flat back. Pull belly back to spine as you roll up. And the last time, stay and hold. Relaxing into spine, hips, letting the shoulders soften, letting the head relax towards the heels, pulling navel back to the spine. Slowly rolling up, keeping hold of the feet and just pulling those in a little bit towards you. Try and find the balance on the sit bones here, and using the core strength, start to take the feet away from the mat. You might just hold on to the toes, the outer feet, or the calves. Find the balance there. We're going to extend the right leg, pushing the heel out to the side. Nice, good. Bring it back into center. I can't look at the screen at the same time. Left leg goes out. Find the drishti, the focus, the single point of gaze. Bring it back. Try both legs together. They might just stay bent at the knee, but find the balance on those pointy parts of the pelvis to straighten the legs. Keep the chest lifted. I'm all over the place. Fantastic. Pull the feet apart just a little. Press the chest between the thighs and the calves and bring it back into center. Woo! Yay. So let us draw knees in towards the chest as we lie down. We haven't quite finished with the flexibility. Have your block handy. Draw the knees in towards the chest. And now as we return back to where we started an hour ago on our back, notice how the spine feels. Notice how the hip flexors, the glutes, the hamstrings, and the quads feel. Give all of your weight into the mat now. Feel all parts of the back body connecting. Mobilize through the hips. Give those knees a little bit of a circle around. Take both legs up to the sky. Make sure that you don't pull the feet towards you. Make sure that the heels are in line with the hips. If that's a problem, drop the knees towards the belly. Relax the feet, relax the ankles, circle. Give them a little bit of love there. Flexibility into the feet is so important. And then stretch up if you need to, flexing, pulling the toes back towards the shins. Then pointing the feet, toes to the sky. Pull the toes back towards the shins. Imagine you're doing acro yoga and you've got somebody on the soles of your feet balancing. Pointing the toes. And then exhaling into the flex. With control, we're going to lower the left and the right legs one at a time. So keep the right leg where it is. Slowly lower the left. A little bit of core work engagement as well. You can always bend the knee. And slowly lower the right. Try to keep the whole of the back connected. Maybe the heel comes down. Maybe it doesn't. Back to the left. Exhaling on the effort. Inhaling as you bring it back. Try not to take tension into the head, the neck, the face. This is good work for the hip flexors. And last few times. Yes, both together. Lower down the legs. Draw the navel in towards the spine. And inhale, lift them up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift up. The legs can be bent. They do not have to be straight if you're putting any pressure and strain onto the back. But pull the back in towards the mat. Suck it to the mat. Last time, lift it up and relax down. Drop the knees right and left. Release into the hip flexors there. Circle out. A few little twists. And then let's come into our pontoon stretch. So this is where we use our block. So you can use the block or a cushion or a bolster, either on its lowest level or its medium level. Highest level, I would say, would be quite high. I'm going to go medium. So that comes underneath the flattest part of your pelvis, dropping the buttocks over the side, making sure that the lower back is free, middle back is free, and the upper back and shoulders are grounded. Hands are down by the side of the body or up above the head in cactus. And this is where we're going to lift right leg up, left leg stays bent. Now do the same thing. Extend the leg away. Visualization. Reach those toes away. Bring it back up. Exhale. Lower it down as far as is comfortable. 3 or 4 times, and then the leg stays. Drop the heel. Drop the waist. Drop the hips. So foot is down on the mat. Nice and slowly inhale, bring that right leg back up. Place the sole of the foot down, lift the left. Lower down left 3 or 4 times. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower. Leg can be bent. On the 4th time, it stays down and holds for 3 to 4 breaths. So heel might come down. Again, you can keep the leg bent. Drop the belly, drop the waist, drop the hips and pelvis. Big stretch for quads, hip flexor, and the psoas here. Inhale, bring the left leg back and release the foot down. Take a moment to breathe. We're going to go both legs, not lowering and lifting, but the legs go straight out down to the wider edges of your mat, dropping pelvis into your prop. Few breaths there. So flexibility of the front and of the back body are both as important as one another. Everything is connected somehow. It all links into each other. The thighs are connected to the hip flexors. The hip flexors are connected to the psoas. The psoas are connected to the back. The back are connected to the glutes, and the glutes are connected to the hamstrings. All of it. And bring the feet back nice and carefully. Take a moment just to rest there. Supported bridge. And bring the hands back. Push the hips up. Take the block away. And slowly roll yourself down onto the mat. Feel the whole back relaxing now with no block underneath there, no bolster. And let us make our way into Shavasana. Maybe you like to just move the spine around as you give it that final little massage, making sure that you're nice and warm and you're comfortable and lying back. And just remember that Shavasana is your own, so any posture will do for you. So it could be a seated meditation at the end of your practice that you prefer. We spent a lot of time lying down, so you could always come up to seated and return back to a comfortable breath, and that sets you up for your day. So as we return to the place where we started practice, we can now close the eyes, but we still have that inner drishti, that inner vision, inner focus, single point of gaze between the eyebrows. Breathe into that area there. Breathe into the single point of gaze, your drishti. Breathe into the forehead. Clear all thoughts, find calm, find stillness, and exhale. Release that breath and breathe normally as you soften into all of the muscles, the connective tissue, the joints, the bones. Give all of your body weight into the earth here for support. And I'll leave you for a few moments of silence. Begin to take a few deeper breaths, bringing soft and gentle movement back into the body, the hands, the feet, the head. Taking your time to come out of Shavasana to prepare for the rest of your day. Rolling, massaging through the spine. Rolling over to one side. Hello. Oh, hi. Mwah. Little Wesley came to see me, finally. Back to a comfortable seat and just take a moment to just sit and to breathe. And just returning back to your own personal intention for practice today, whatever that was, whatever resonated with you. But not just finding flexibility on the mat, but also in your day with yourself and with others. Bring the hands into the heart center. Thank yourself for your practice this morning, and I thank you. Namaste.